welcome to Channel Yemaswati News. My name is Kanyisile Mabuza. Before we start with our news, let's take a look at our top stories making headlines this evening. The Republic of China and Taiwan government made a donation of worth over 500,000 emalangeni worth of personal protective equipment and hand sanitizers. Members of Parliament today, or rather Standing Order Committee from the House of Assembly in Parliament, today had a Standing Order Amendment meeting held at the Happy Valley Hotel. And finally, the prospective cyclone Kwambe is said to not be a threat any longer. And now the news in detail. The Republic of China, Taiwan made a donation worth over 500,000 emalangeni. This donation is of personal protective equipment for health workers as well as hand sanitizers worth over 250,000 emalangeni. We have a report.
The government of the Republic of China, Taiwan has donated personal protective equipment worth over 500,000 emalangeni today to the Ministry of Health. Presenting the donation was the Ambassador Jeremy Liang, where the Minister for Health stated that the government will not be able to complete this work alone. Through the collaboration with stakeholders and friends of the kingdom, they'll be able to conquer COVID-19.
Saya emakhaya simphiko sabafundzisa sabaniketa nokusibaniketa bona kujalo ukusebenzisana amalanga kuyaphela kodwa ungawulandela ngalana sisibe khona la sitomphela nawo sanitizers.
Another organization that assisted in providing PPE is the Inner Wheel organization, which also presented PPE to the minister.
So on behalf of the ministry and on behalf of our teams that are constantly on the ground and constantly responding to COVID, I would like to say thank you very much. I am sure that our response spaces, our case management spaces, and indeed maybe some people at home could use some of these books. You know, if people are there and they are able to read, they could use them. We don't have libraries. You know, in a pandemic, you are working on such
For Yemaswati News, I'm Linda Shongwe with Kimberly Mavuso in Babane.
At the Happy Valley Hotel, members of the Standing Order Committee from the House of Assembly were amending standing orders. This follows a new normal that the Parliament, or parliamentarians rather, have to adapt to, which calls for them to conduct some of their sittings virtually. We have a report.
Today at the Happy Valley Hotel in Ezulwini, the Standing Orders Committee in the House of Parliament, in collaboration with UNDP, held a workshop where they discussed how to continue working with the standing orders, especially during the COVID-19 era. We conducted an interview with the House of Parliament Speaker, Honorable Petrus Masivimbela, who sensitized the viewers about the workshop.
Standing orders COVID-19 kumele sale siqhube kanjani noma siqhube kanjani endlini uma indlu ihledi uma isemakomitini so kuze ukuthi lo msebenzi sikhona kuenda kahle ubonakala ukuthi lama standing orders lebe kade sisebenza ngawo kusukela kadzeni ikakhulu ngaphambi kusuka 1968 kuze kube ngonamuhla siwabukete ke nyalo kulungela nasi simo lesikiso sa COVID-19. So sihlanganiswa ngokwenyalo la at least asimane sinake nje na sigaba sa COVID, and then emveni kwaloko saze siyabona ukuthi sena kanjani la ngalamadzala singeke siwalahle manje kwanyalo nje sifuna silungele ukuthi sisebenze kulesikhathi lesi sa COVID-19.
The representative of UNDP explained the role the organization played in the workshop, further stating that they are very privileged to work with the House of Parliament.
And UNDP is pleased today to support this very important meeting of the sessional committee responsible for looking at the standing orders in order that we might work together with Parliament in order to advance the agenda, learning and growing from the COVID-19 pandemic we've all been experiencing in the last year. With those challenges comes opportunities, and I think UNDP is really proud to be working as a partner with Parliament to embrace digital technologies and digital solutions for the 21st century to ensure that Parliament is working effectively and accountably to continue the great work they've been doing to date.
I am Zandile Mpapane for Channel Yemaswati News with Kanyisile Mabuza, Ezulwini.
Today at the George Hotel was the official commemoration where the Kingdom of Eswatini joined the entire world in commemorating their mother tongues. Today, the Kingdom of Eswatini also took part in the celebrations as Yemaswati were encouraged to embrace their mother tongue, which is Siswati. We have a report.
Today at the Times George Hotel, International Mother Language Day was celebrated, whereby the main emphasis was on ensuring the use of the mother language as well as other languages in education and in the community at large. One of the honorable guests, Usisiwe Smelane, talked about the importance of strengthening the core of the Siswati language so that the future generation also learn how to use it.
We are very happy as the Kingdom of Eswatini to have been participating in the celebration in different forms and different levels. And indeed today we are celebrating in a special way, as you can see. It's a very small gathering, but we are very fortunate that technology has made it possible for so many people out there to participate. This year's theme speaks to multilingualism and the inclusion of different languages in the promotion of education as well as in the community. And if you look at multilingualism, it speaks to each language being strong, each language being independent of another, but in one way or another, each language promoting the existence of another and strengthening the existence of another. By so saying, it means each language must have its own foundation and be strong to such an extent that it can participate or it can communicate at different levels and can be used to put across messages at different levels. It also speaks to language tolerance.
Ngosigati Tandi also emphasized on the importance of parents grooming their kids in such a way that they are able to speak their mother tongue.
We have the theme that says the importance we must foster multilingualism in our education and in our society. So as you have rightly asked me, it is important for a person to know himself before he knows what is not his. So we are stressing the importance of learning from the known to the unknown. Because if you have not mastered your own culture and your own language, it will be difficult for you to master somebody else's language. So you will be neither here nor there. So if you learn from the unknown, from the known to the unknown, then you will be able to compete globally.
I'm Ngabile Makakula for Channel Yemaswati News with Zandile Mpapane in Manzini.
National Disaster Management Agency warning units says Yemaswati can calm down as Cyclone Kwambe is no longer a threat. This is a cyclone that had been seen to be threatening to enter through the Mozambique. Welcome back and thank you very much for staying.
Yemaswati were worried that there will be another cyclone hitting Eswatini, which is named Cyclone Kwambe, which has been seen to be evolving around the coast of Mozambique. Fortunately, it has been stated that it has died as it approached the cold winds of the Cape.
Now, us as the Disaster Management Agency, we get information from the Met colleagues, but they did indicate, their forecast that there is likelihood of more rains maybe going forward this week. But the rains that are expected are not so alarming as the ones we previously experienced or were coming from. But nonetheless, having said that, that we can still warn the Disaster Management Agency of the possible kind of floods and the possible mudslides because of the water levels or the water table that is currently there. We know that currently most places have got a lot of water, and I mean we can see some water sprouting from the ground. So any little amount of rain that falls on that will add to the already kind of high volumes of water. So we can still want people to be careful, especially when they're crossing the low-level bridges and the streams, which you find that they become a problem, especially when, if you're experiencing any small amount of rain, because the water table is very high. The cyclone Gwambe is already like dead. It died, it drifted southwards into the cold waters, and it's already dead. So we can't, will not be affected. The indications are such that it won't affect us, like maybe Eloise did.
For Channel Yemaswati News, I'm Linda Shong with Kimbali Mavuso. Babane.
Follow the best every day at Pick and Pay Eswatini. Thenga umcenge long life milk ema 1 liter lasitfupha ngu-74.99 kuphela. Uthenge nenhlanganisela Sun cooking oil 2 liter, Sun rice 10 kg, Top Score super maize meal 10 kg, ne-Sunny brown sugar 3 kg. Kuthenge konke kokune nga-270 emalangeni kuphela. Kuze kube ngumhla ka-4 March at Pick and Pay Eswatini kuphela.
Lapho khona ubona likusasa lakho kungathi liyafiphala, utibona ungasilutho emhlabeni. Hamu CIT College avusetela imaphupho akho kusukela mhla ka 1 March. So ungasifaka sicelo sakho sekuyofunda eCIT College. Kulabo labafisa ukuqala kufunza ngaJune. Khetha takho tifundvo kunati, uthishela, i-primary teachers diploma, temabhizinisi, tebunjinela, ICT naletinye. Nesakho nawe sikhona. Sithole esitrashini embabani noma usishayele ku 24220745. CIT College.
Baseth Hardware, the father of hardwares in the kingdom of Eswatini. We have treated timber, NC2F window frames, floor tiles, 20-liter PVA in all colors, 5,000-liter water tank, full and half security doors, and corrugated iron. We will not meet but beat any advertised price or written quote. Contact us on 2505-9581 or 2422-1328. Baseth Hardware.
Uma ufuna ukuva inyama nemnanzi, conza kuMashaya Nkonja ne-Meat Butchery. Sinama-end special lesiqala mhla ka-15 February kuya ku-28 February. Sliced pork 5 kg, 299 emalangeni. Sliced pork 2 kg, 99.99 emalangeni. Pork loin chops 4 kg, 279.99 emalangeni. Pork loin chops 69.99 emalangeni per kg. Pork sausages 2 kg, 199.99 emalangeni. Mashaya rivals 5 kg, 249.99 emalangeni. Mashaya rivals 2 kg, 99.99 emalangeni. Stewing beef 5 kg, 275.99 emalangeni. Beef burger 16 pieces per pack, 79.99 emalangeni. Beef chunk super sliced 79.99 emalangeni. Mawufuna kuva kabanzi shayela 7806 2371. Mashaya Nkonja ne-Meat Butchery iyatholakala kaManzini, kumathapha eTheteni kanye nakuMadonsa.
Back and thank you very much for staying with us. I'd also like to take this opportunity to welcome all of our viewers who have just tuned in to Channel Yemaswati News. And now we shall continue with our news bulletin. Today, the Lutheran Church in Southern Africa, Manzini Parish, which is under the Eswatini circuit, made a donation and also a blessing of 2 houses that were built for a SONKHE family in the area. This family consists of 2 households of people who are living uncomfortably in very inadequate houses. We have a report. The Evangelical Lutheran Church in Southern Africa, Eswatini Circuit in Manzini Parish, made a donation of 2 houses to a SONKHE family at Magdalene. The SONKHE family has 2 households whose people were living in very inadequate houses. However, the donation of the houses was assisted and funded by other Lutherans from Germany. We conducted an interview with Bishop Absalom Mnisi, who was present during the handover, who also blessed the houses.
Libuye libone ukuthi bantu bakhona ukuthola umthunzi indlu yabahlala khona. Libuye libone mhlambe la kunendlala. Lapha ke sto khona nje kusho ukuthi umsebenzi asinoceka senze ingcenye yakho. Kungakwelo umndeni nje nasi siubonga ukuthi ube nenhlanhla emndeni leminingi ehluphekile. Kodwa nje ke nasi siphoza sandla sivivaneni. Sesicela wona umango nje wesa MP uCopho bathu sinisana netete inkosi nenkosi sebelwa nabantu bayo. Sicela nje ukuthi nanabo bachubeke bekunene. Hayi ngoba sesibele banda abasibo belibanda kodwa nje siba benza sinabo. Sicela ukuthi bayadle lenkonzo yaNkulunkulu ukuthi indlela ezulwini ndlwa kamakhelwane.
Jabile Shongwe, who is one of the owners of the two houses, or beneficiaries rather, expressed her utmost appreciation, stating that she was living a very difficult life as she is also taking care of her sickly sister who has cancer. She says now life is going to be much better because they were very concerned about everything that was happening, especially with the rains and having to take care of her critically ill sister.
Bese ngavile nje ngaphila etinzini Nkosi. Nkosi yami ngidlulisa kubonga uNkulunkulu Nkosi yami. Bangisipile abantu baNkulunkulu ngathi futhi uthi ngabonga ngani. Nkosi yami ngiyabonga mzala.
Ukhonda kuphi wena manje?
Ngikhonda ePostoli.
The Gilgal Member of Parliament, Honorable Sandla Fagute, expresses utmost appreciation to the church, stating that not only are they blessed, but they also preached a word that people should help each other no matter where they come from. He was saying this because the Shongwe family is not that of Lutherans.
Nikwendele uNkulunkulu uqobo lwakhe ngeke thina size sikhone ukubonga siyinkundla noma mhlambe singumango wala ukuthi awubonga uNkulunkulu siyabonga nje kakhulu ngathi yabaseGalatia mangaphoze chapter 6 verse 9 ithi asingadzinwa kwenta lokuhle ikakhulu kulaba bendlu yake bendlu yokholo.
The Lutheran Church identified the family by their children who go to a preschool and also a soup kitchen that is taken care of by the Lutheran Church. This is where they stated that their funders and sponsors from Germany had asked them to actually assess the situation of the children's homes, and this is the one home that they identified as very destitute. I'm Kanyisile Mabuza for Channel Yemaswati News. Magda Jenny. A story that was broadcast on Channel Yemaswati last week of a family whose wives were actually in a dispute over inheritance for their late husband's estate. We conducted an interview with the Swazi Law and Custom judge known as Ndaba Zabandu, who stated that now he knows what the problem is and he has a solution to the matter. This is where he stated that a junior wife has no right over the inheritance of a senior wife. We have a report.
Following the story of a widow of Madonza under the Manzini region who alleged that her late husband's third wife chased her out of her homestead and further took all her husband's inheritance, Yemaswati Channel did a story whereby the traditional court visited the area to inspect the widow's property. Today our reporter spoke to Mr. Tsigati, who is the leader at the traditional court, to hear what his judgment says pertaining the issue.
Yasibadlala COVID. Abanye bayadlala bangale mshelo. Kodwa uma ngiyibuka ifunda bayadlala lo ngale mshelo eSouth Africa ngoba wenzile. Laba yethe lo anti beninayo lapha. Lowa teka lo mfowethu omncane lesoso wakhe likhaya lapha la kafanele lakhe khona. Ngithe ayikhulumisa nomphakathi. Ngiyiva ithemba njani. Ngisale ngiyijuba ngoba ayijutshanga. Ngiyajuba wasemboni ukonakala kubi. Ngesiswati nje ngeke usuke umfowethu omncane ufike utofa uthi ngala ebaleni lomfowethu omkhulu. Uyahlonishwana. Uthi lo mfowethu omkhulu akamqoshi kufuna babambisane indzawo eningi batawubekana. Kodwa ngokuthi inyalo soketuna nabadla kancane wentatika bafika umfake ebandleni kanti uyefika ngokwathi kwami umuntu ofake ebandleni ngumsupho wenzayo lo wathi utoyita njani bamfaka uthathe bangisale mali ithi awusetshenta masinyana ithi awuphuma sijulu.
He stated that a judgment is yet to be made, but what he discovered is that a lot of mistakes were made when handling Mrs. Dlamini's matter. He stated that there is no way that the younger wife can take everything from the older wife, as the older wife should be the one telling the younger wife what to do in that one stead. He then assured the public that the traditional court will make sure that the right decision is made and the first wife returns to her home.
Bekhuthe lo msindo lo ngafunda nangilengo yenyama icela kuthula lo into ungamphatha inkomo kodwa ngibuma ngamnika lokuthula amajabula.
I am Zandile Mpapane for Channel Yemaswati News. Manzini.
A female driver of a Toyota Hilux vehicle that was traveling along the Mbabane-Manzini highway today sustained injuries after her car overturned after she lost control. We have a report.
Rains this morning around the Kingdom of Eswatini caused the roads to be slippery. This is the major cause of accidents, and this was witnessed by our reporters today at Langeni Highway. A driver of a white Toyota is lucky to be alive after her car lost control and overturned. The woman, who is estimated to be about 50, was seen next to her car. She refused, however, to speak to our reporters, but our reporters spoke to an eyewitness who was driving behind the woman. The eyewitness stated that he was driving and he saw the car overturned, and he and other good Samaritans tried to help the woman and pulled her out of the car. Luckily, the eyewitness stated that no one was seriously injured, as he mentioned that he acted swiftly. Members of the Royal Eswatini Police Service and members from the fire department were not at the scene when compiling this report. I am Zandile Mpapane for Channel Yemaswati News. Visuals by Cyril Mpamali. Elangeni.
Following the negative effects of Cyclone Eloise that wreaked havoc all over the Kingdom of Eswatini and saw the damage of infrastructure, Channel Yemaswati today was cautioned by the community policeman of Msunduza location in Babane, Mr. Nenet Ruba, who is urging all landlords and also property owners who live away from Msunduza to come and check on their properties. This follows the fact that thieves have started looting on the houses that were damaged by the heavy rains. In the following reports.
The community police of Msunduza has since requested that all the residents of Msunduza who left their homes after the destructions caused by Cyclone Eloise and the continuous rains come back, as there is so much chaos going on in that area following their departure. Mr. Nene further requested the landlords of that area who live abroad to also check on their properties, as thugs are now looting around and stealing rooftops as well as any valuable they find either outside or inside their houses.
Sekunenkinga lapha letindlu tiwile njengoba letulinile nje natiwile ke letindlu bese ke bantu beba lamathayela bathathe nalokhu sekhathi ngoba letindlu futhi vela kusahlali bantu siyacela nje ukuthi impela takhamuti atite titohlola lapha ngoba vele imithi leminingi kakhulu lebe yakhiwe ngestick and mud vele awu iwile la Skom. So vele umonakalo sowendekile nje lamanye nje mathayela zesawalanza kule linye lekhaya saphandla sebakhe ngawo asababisele kuleyo khaya. Siyacela nje sibonke omastandla bangahlala esikoma bethe batowubuka ukuthi simo sinjani ngaloku kufika kwale litulu elikhulu eLoyi.
Ngabe ukukhuta nje izini kuletinswela boya.
Vele tinswela boya tifanele ukuthi titoboshwa. Kodwa ke tifuna tiboshwe bala mathaya banathi bala makhaya.
He then went on to say all the looters must and will face the law. However, this will be done through the property owners with the help of the Royal Eswatini Police. I am Nobile Makakula for Channel Yemaswati News with Zandile Mpapane in Babane.
And with that, we have come to the inevitable end of our news bulletin. But before signing out, let's take a look at our top stories making headlines once again. The Minister for Health, Senator Nkosi, today received donations worth over 500,000 emalangeni worth of personal protective equipment from the Republic of China and Taiwan. Parliamentarians and a committee of standing orders from the House of Assembly today had a standing orders amendment meeting at the Happy Valley Hotel. And finally, the threatening cyclone Gwambe has lost all its power in the sea and therefore is no longer a threat. Thank you very much for staying with us. My name is Kanyusile Mabuza, wishing you a very good night and may God bless you.